Stu and Dave Do America presents Lefty Lunatic versus Donald Trump.
Hey, Trump. Hey, still waiting for you to take up my challenge to cage fight you. Still waiting. I've been practicing. I don't have to practice much, though. So if you don't take up my challenge pretty soon, everybody's going to think you're a
God, we are screwed as a nation, Dave. There's not really much to save, is there?
No, there's not. Well, if the president doesn't beat the crap out of an old lady, he's a chicken. That's for sure. I think, you think Jake Paul would take the fight? I bet he would.
Yeah, that's true. And I got to admit, just like the last Jake Paul fight, I'd probably be at Netflix on a Saturday night, disappointed in myself for watching it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the way it works.
At least we know what Sally Jesse Raphael's up to. I'm happy about that.
Good for her. I'm glad to know what she's doing. Okay, so we had a big weekend. Unfortunately, that fight was not part of the big card for America's 250th birthday, but it was a pretty big celebration. Lots of stuff to cover. So let's do America's 250th birthday. Welcome to Stu and Dave Do America. We're back from vacation. Dave Landau joins me. Hi, Dave.
Ahoy, and we meet again.
Yes, it was a very exciting week. We had a great couple of days off. We're doing this thing that we're trying out. Most shows will do a bunch of work weeks and then take an occasional week off on vacation. We're kind of reversing that formula. We're taking a bunch of vacation with an occasional work week mixed in. That's our policy here for the next few weeks. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Did you have a great 4th of July, Dave? Did you do anything fun?
I did. I had a little gathering. Actually, I went to a gathering. I brought my dog. It was good. And my family as well. Both my dogs. It was good. What about you? It's fine.
I don't know.
And then people let off, I think, more fireworks ever than I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in my neighborhood, which I thought was awesome.
People were really excited about it. And the dog firework thing is a controversial thing. I mean, like, people will get mad at you for bringing your dogs anywhere near fireworks. It's like as if you're, torturing these poor animals because they get scared for multiple seconds.
Yeah, sure. Show a liberal a flag. Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it can be a lot worse.
Yeah,
worse reactions. How was your 4th? Did you have fun?
It was great. We did the 4th of July fireworks. We had a party that we went to and stuff. I will tell you though, I think the highlight for me, Dave, I had the most patriotic moment I had this entire 4th of July weekend. This is real. Was walking through a Walmart. There's something about Walmart that makes me feel incredibly patriotic about this country. And I think I'm the only person in America who feels that way, because I think most people are like, oh gosh, look at this. This is huge, building and all the fluorescent lights are everywhere. And you have all these people walking around and, they're ill-fitting shorts and tank tops, and they're buying all sorts of crap. And it's all been shipped in from all over the world. I'm sorry. The fact that a country was created that can provide this sort of bounty in this sort of, at this sort of capacities is amazing. Like, I walked down the chip aisle of Walmart and I'm just like, this is freaking capitalism right here. They've got 47 kinds of Pringles. They've got Pringles.
It's true.
They've got flavors of Pringles, Dave, of foods I've never even heard of from other countries. They're flavoring the Pringles that way now. It's incredible. There's sodas, there's drinks, there's 48 kinds of bread. It's an incredible process. And this entire store is targeted at like middle class and lower middle class Americans, where like in the past, you'd be like the king of England and you couldn't get this sort of option. You couldn't have this many options for what you wanted to eat. I think it's a miracle. I love capitalism. I love this country. That was my moment of patriotism this weekend.
I think it's good. And also, if you're much too obese to walk down the aisle, they actually have a small cart you can drive.
Yes!
And by small, I mean very large. But you can drive your groceries around Walmart if you are, in fact, too large to walk. And I think that's something when it says, look, you've eaten everything in here. and you've come back for more.
Right. It's kind of
How
like,
about some wheels?
yeah, exactly. It's kind of like your reward when you go to a restaurant and they have like the 12-pound steak challenge. If you can consume the whole thing, you get your name up on the board. It's the same thing at Walmart. Like if you eat everything in Walmart, they give you the wheels you can cruise around with and go beep, beep, beep when I get in the way.
Yes. If you eat whatever you want from Walmart, they reward you with sawing your feet off from diabetes and giving you a cart you can drive around. And nothing says America quite like that. I have to be honest, because we have the healthcare.
Mm-hmm. That's right. There we go. I'm a little less patriotic than when I started this, but I appreciate that. Dave, you're going to be, speaking of patriotism, you're going to be all around the country enjoying all sorts of tour dates around America. Go to davelandau.com for tickets. Where are you going to be?
July 10 and 11, you can see me in Huntsville, Alabama at Levity Live. July 17, 18, Springfield, Missouri at Springfield Comedy Club. July 25th, Farwell, Michigan, Rock, Michigan Red Fest with Ted Nugent. I read that wrong. August 7th, Albuquerque, New Mexico at Hyenas. August 26th, Honolulu, Hawaii, Blue Note. September 25, 26, Salt Lake City, Utah at Wise Guys.
Yeah, don't miss any of these dates. Lots of great ones. DaveLandau.com for tickets. PredictableShow.com. You can go there. Won't give you the whole spiel here. We got a bunch of great stuff coming up this week as well. And join us on Blaze TV. Don't forget, BlazeTV.com/Stu and Dave. The code is Stu and Dave. You can save $20 off your subscription. Okay, let's talk a little bit about America 250. Trump touts America as a nation of winners and slams communism in a July 4th speech. He did do all of those things. Is there something wrong with slamming communism? Now we're at the point where they're admitting that they're so defensive of communism that slamming it is inappropriate.
No, I like that he slammed communism. I think that's important because there's so many people trying to not slam it, like the idea of a democratic socialist, where you go, that's just a socialist. You can't have both those things in the same sentence and consider it like a new party. It's just a socialist party, and it doesn't work. I think he should slam communism. It's what I'm happy about it, honestly.
Yeah, it's funny. Democratic socialism is basically socialism that people vote for, and then as soon as they change their mind, you then turn it into normal socialism where they can't vote anymore. That's kind of what democratic socialism is.
And then they execute the useful idiots. Mm-hmm. If you're going by history, of course.
Mm-hmm. Only every single time, though. There's the only evidence we have is all of history.
Right. That's failure, the only thing we have to go on.
Yeah, it's really, really miserable. You know what? That's the thing. Yeah, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. These people who are coming over from other countries for the FIFA World Cup thing, they can't believe what we have here. They're impressed by it. You go to Cuba, let's see if you can find anything on any shelf, let alone 46 kinds of Pringles. Like, you're not going to find any of that. And we should actually appreciate this from time to time. We should actually notice how awesome this country is, even though we complain about it, even though a lot of people are riding around in carts without feet. All that's true, but it's still better than every other crap heap on this planet.
No, but it just means we can eat whatever we want. We have that freedom.
Yeah.
You don't lose your feet.
I mean, you could lose your feet for multiple different reasons, I suppose. But that's true. You don't just lose your feet for doing nothing. And I will say that there is a very dark way of looking at this where, the ultimate achievement of humanity and in some ways capitalism is to make death a choice. You hope that you don't die because you don't want to die. If you're going to continually eat yourself into oblivion, like I do most Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and then sometimes on the weekends, sure, you're going to have all sorts of health problems, but I'm choosing to adopt those health problems into my life. If we can achieve a nation where people only die because their choices are horrible, then it's our fault. And I think that's actually a pretty good achievement, Dave.
That's the greatest country on earth.
Yeah. Amen. You know what?
If
Dave,
you could only die from your poor choices, come on. That's great.
Absolutely fantastic. It makes me so excited. I want to show you a bunch of fireworks. Here they were in Washington, D.C.
Oh, good.
This was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it was. Al Gore was furious, I bet.
I'm doing great, thank you. Oh, rhetorical.
Me? I'm good.
Thank you for asking. Really, are you talking to me? There's a huge crowd here. Thank you for
Yeah, I'm
me
well.
Maybe the greatest fireworks show of all time. I mean, I think Chinese drone shows would compete for that title. There's some competition, but I gotta say that was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. It cost a fortune, but it was. Look, we've been around for 250 years. There's basically no other country on earth that can even compete with our longevity, let alone what we've achieved. Probably worth setting off a few fireworks.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it was worth it. I like it, and I think it was nice. People enjoyed it. I think it's good that we celebrated the 250.
Yeah, it does feel. I know the 250 thing was coming, and it was like the country just seems so. I hate to use the word divided because it's like so played, and everyone says these things all the time. But like we basically inaccurate, right? And it's like it's like the woke thing. Woke feels tired, but there really was a use for it, especially for a very long time, and that stuff still exists. I feel the same thing is when it comes to division. It's like it's all out there. It does seem like we despise each other most of the time, but I think we have hit a little bit of a window here where we can appreciate the country, which is kind of nice. Though I will say people like Zoran Mamdani are not necessarily on board with the greatness of this nation. He blasted ICE agents, Elon Musk, and supremacy in his speech. Let me show you a clip, Dave, and get your reaction.
As we mark 250 years, what do we see? We see a city of contradictions within a nation of contradictions.
Oh, God.
We see the wealthiest country in the history of the world.
Yay.
One where children go to sleep hungry, while the world's first trillionaire hungers for more.
Ugh.
We see monopolies that dominate every industry and oligarchs who buy elections.
Ugh.
We see masked agents terrorizing our streets.
Do we?
Eating food cooked by our undocumented neighbors before spiriting them away in unmarked vans.
Wow, that's terrible, Dave. Can you believe that we're doing that?
Yeah. I can't believe it. The first thing I thought was Bin Laden's 2004 October surprise speech when I saw this.
It kind of is in that category. He sounds just like him. I mean, he sounds just like with the corresponding hatred for Jews. He kind of has. He's got the whole spiel down pretty well.
Well, it is pretty fascinating how many people have pointed out that he can't sit on the right side of a desk. And, for a group of people who consider dogs to be haram, as they say, they sure like to eat off the floor. So perhaps that's why he doesn't know where to sit. Because you don't usually sit with drawers facing the other way, unless you've never used a desk before.
It's interesting. I have to say, Dave, you pointed that out as if everyone noticed it. I did not notice it. You're right. He seems to be sitting on the wrong side of the desk with the drawers that would normally be facing you as you sat, facing away from you. What's going on here? Is this AI? Does he really not know how to use a desk?
No, he doesn't. He did not know how to use a desk, oddly enough. I did hear, now this could be inaccurate, so I don't want it to be held against anybody at the news network, but I do understand the women showing their faces were stoned to death in the hallway right after this was shot. So good. If anybody's worried about that, don't worry. It was all taken care of.
Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. How can this be your vision of the country, though, Dave? Here's a guy who came from Uganda, who has risen to he's the mayor of the largest city in America. It's a success story that he does not deserve. He has not achieved anything in his life that would make him deserve this job. He lucked into it solely because the worst person on earth was running against him. And now he's sitting in this office saying how bad Elon Musk is. By the way, also an immigrant who also came here and achieved incredible things. We're going to say how bad he is. We're going to say how bad the country is. We're going to focus on the fact that, children go to sleep hungry. I mean, does that happen? Of course it does. We would like that number to be 0. Of course. However, hunger as a problem, when you're talking about a human scale in this country, is very, very minor compared to, all other places at all other times in human history. Do you think Uganda has kids going to sleep hungry? I think a couple might. It's so insulting that this guy is in this position of prominence.
Well, also, he's a rich, spoiled communist. He came here with plenty of money, unlike Elon Musk. He's sitting in that office for I mean, I don't know how he got voted in. I still don't believe he did personally. But I mean, why even do the address? Just have 50 teens that are smoking weed and beating the crap out of each other on a subway platform, because it's the exact same effect. The guy has done nothing good for anything in that city, and then he borrowed money from upstate New York and said, "Oh, I fixed the debt." You didn't do anything. You've destroyed that, and then. What I loved was when he came out and said, "Make sure to keep your thermostat at 78 degrees." How about no? How about this is America and we'll do whatever we want? How about,
Yeah.
like, that's not how this works.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's just so insulting. It's against everything that the country stands for. But of course, that makes sense from him, right? He's a socialist, a democratic socialist. He's a person who wants to seize the means of production. He is a guy who, every single thing that we've achieved, these communist and socialist countries take our innovations, all the things we've worked for, and steal the technology, steal all the innovations, make their country at least somewhat palatable through our improvements on the world, and then they come over here and bash us. It's like, screw off. Like the fact that this guy is actually, mayor of a major American city, especially one where 9/11 occurred, is just. It is a statement that we have gone insane. There is a portion of our society that has lost its, marbles. And, I don't think we're not going in the right direction. We just have built up so many good things that we can still maintain, I think, something to be really, really proud of in this country.
We have, and we have lost our minds, considering that he does stand with with the ideology of the people who did take down the towers in that very city, which is why I made the painting behind him, "The Towers Falling," on Twitter, and I put it up, and no one noticed. It's not really important. It just feels like that's something that he would happen in his office. But everybody's for this, but then they're anti-America. They think that this is somehow celebrating something. This guy's not celebrating anything, but then they're going to get mad because the White House shoots off fireworks. If it was Biden's 4 years before it, they would have just had, like, what was her name? I forget
I don't remember what was the context of the person you're looking for, because when I think of Biden is him doing the speech post COVID, where he's sitting there and there's like 4 people in the audience and they're all spread like 80 feet apart from each other. Yes. That's his celebration of the country. And that's how many people on his side would actually come to the celebration. But wait, what was the woman you were talking about?
Oh, I was just trying to find, I always forget her name, but she was the one who always has, Cardi B. That's what I was trying to think. I had to look up. That's odd. You look up Stallion and you get court. I don't know if it was Megan the Stallion or Cardi B. But yeah, that's all it would have been. It wouldn't have been fireworks shows. It would have just been Cardi B 69ing a drag queen on the Declaration of Independence. And that's what that's what would have been to celebrate, as opposed to fireworks and stuff to kind of be just patriotic. It's fine to be patriotic. It's fine to love the country you're from. And you shouldn't love this absolute socialism nonsense that's being forced in by somebody like Mamdani. He's ridiculous. And then you see soccer players, doing this thing, and then you see him talking about how Muslims are going to take over New York City. Well, they're letting them in, so it's not a good thing.
No,
I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat food from my undocumented neighbor, because that means the health inspector hasn't taken a look at it. So there's a lot of things that he says that are absolutely ridiculous. There's a reason why there's laws that are put into place. It's not everything that they say is like it's so bad. Oh, it's so bad that somebody's taken away when they're not supposed to be here. Get out. It's enough. Just get out.
Now, their only thing that they can seemingly actually unite on is socialism and also hatred of Donald Trump. The House Democrats are accusing Trump of hijacking America's 250th birthday for his own gain. Hijacking, an interesting word coming out of this particular conversation. But they're saying that he was misleading donors. They're saying that there was potential wire fraud. And they're trying to focus everybody not only on Donald Trump, but on this one African-American woman on a subway or a train of some sort. This is how they're covering it. Defining image of America. Picture of black woman surrounded by white supremacist group in D.C. on July 4th goes viral. This is the picture they're talking about. It's a Reuters photo. And, Don Bacon, the stupid representative, was tweeting this, saying this tough lady is surrounded by a bunch of creeps. You do see a black woman sitting on a train of some sort with a bunch of people from, I guess, this group Patriot Front, which, I don't know. I don't know if it's a real group. I've never heard of them outside. The only time I ever hear of them is when the news has advanced knowledge of one of their rallies and they show up for it hours early, waiting for them to come by in their masks. But apparently they're saying this is a real group. They're just saying, look at the bravery of this woman, Dave, for, I guess, sitting down.
Yes, I only know this group from the meetings personally, but
Right.
I don't know her. Who cares? Like, why? Like, okay, reverse it. Have you ever seen a white lady sitting on a subway while a bunch of other people are beating each other up and hurting each other? It doesn't, like, it's using the word division, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's just a photo to create division. Yeah, she has to go somewhere and doesn't seem to be bothered by it.
Right. Now, what's fascinating about this, number one, Dave, is you're right. If these races were reversed and it was, let's say, a bunch of Black Panther types or whatever group, some George Floyd group that was like angry and on this train with the one white person, there would be no pictures of people going like, look at the brave whitey. She's just sitting there with all these black people. Like, that would not be a thing that was actually said. And thankfully, frankly, the other part about this is, when I look at that picture, the thing that's honestly strikes me, because we don't see a lot of pictures from inside trains. Most people want to deny they've ever been on it because the smell doesn't go away. But like what it reminds me of that poor white woman in the train who was just stabbed in the neck. Like, it's almost kind of the same angle, where she was just sitting there looking forward, coming home from working at a pizza restaurant and paying for her life for absolutely no reason because we refuse to throw criminals into prison. That's that's what I thought of when I saw that picture. And by the way, Dave, this woman, I guess it's interesting that she's being promoted as this tough lady, like she's standing up against racism. This is her apparently right before this picture was taken. Watch the video. So she was laying on the ground with her face to the ground, screaming, jumping around like a lunatic. I mean, it seems like a drug addict or something like that is going on. But now
and pulling her pants down, exposing herself.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's the natural. That happens with everybody on trains. So, that one. I don't
Modern day Rosa Parks. I see what you're saying. That was
amazing.
Oh my God, I hate the media.
It's so
I
bad.
really do. I really do.
It's infuriating.
Just to take that photo and be like, look at this poor woman. And it's like the lunatic who lives there.
Yeah, exactly. And then probably was, stabbing somebody else the moment after she got out. It's not as impressive as the storyline, of course, being proposed by the media. I wanted to take a quick break because you mentioned the soccer thing. I was talking about it a little bit. True. I guess all of a sudden I'm the only person in America who doesn't like soccer anymore. But I will say I do love what
that makes two of us.
Okay, well, there's two? Okay, good. I will say I really have loved some of the stuff around the World Cup, some of the reactions from people who are coming here. We'll show you some of that next. We spent a surprising amount of time trying to make our backyards look incredible. These incredible landscapes. My wife does this every year. We're always buying new furniture for our back porch, and then we invite people over like once every 3 years, and then they sit in it once, and then we get new furniture. a much more sustainable thing to do is to invest in the landscape of your homes. Trees are kind of the whole point of your backyard. I mean, they're providing the shade and the privacy, and they're the kind of thing that makes your backyard feel private and like home. I love fast-growing trees. We use fast-growing trees all the time. They're the largest online nursery in the country. Over 2 million customers. They take a lot of the guesswork out of the process. They help you find the right trees and plants for your specific growing zone, so they don't die the first time you have a storm. They ship them directly to your door, healthy and ready to plant. Right now, they've got great deals going on with planting essentials, up to half off on select plants. And listeners to this program get 20% off their first purchase when using the code Stu and Dave at checkout. The additional 20% comes with that code, better plants and better growing at fastgrowingtrees.com. Use the code Stu and Dave at checkout. Get that 20% off. Fastgrowingtrees.com. The code is Stu and Dave. Now's the perfect time to plant. Let's grow together with fast-growing trees. Use the code Stu and Dave to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. U.S. and Belgium play today in the World Cup. FIFA stunned the soccer world by allowing USA's Forlaren Balogun, who I'm very familiar with, and I've said that name out loud many times in my private life. They play today. Trump's role is under the microscope. It's not under the microscope as much as he's incredibly proud of it and saying it very loudly, that he just basically harassed the FIFA leadership to reverse this red card penalty. Red card penalty would mean not only were you suspended for the end of the game you're in, but you're also suspended for the next game because of some egregious penalty, which I didn't see in the actual game. But Trump is loving this. He's taking credit for it. He's absolutely telling everyone it's not under the microscope at all.
No, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't care.
Okay.
Not so much about the president. I just don't. I didn't see it either. I don't watch soccer, and I haven't gambled in a very long time.
So those are the only reason you'd be watching soccer is to gamble on it.
I think the only reason anybody in America is watching soccer is to gamble on it. I don't think anybody's watching it for any other reason. I'm sure there's like 12 people that enjoy it, but the fact that DraftKings is as big as it is, and now everybody's into it, clearly shows that there's something that makes people like soccer.
Yeah. I mean, look, they always say, I remember hearing this when I was a kid, it's the biggest sport in the world, don't you know? It's the biggest sport in the world. Okay, but here, what about here? What number is it here? That's what I care about. I don't care about what number it is in Madagascar. I care about what it is here. And here it is, look, I don't know, the 7th, 8th sport on the docket for most people, but I will say, Dave, people are into this right now. A lot of friends that I know who don't watch soccer are into this event. And, Belgium.
True. Look, and also if you're 6 years old, it's also a pretty big sport.
It is.
Here in the States. If you are in the 5-6-year-old category, a lot of people do play it. I used to play myself.
Typically, though, Dave, when you play a sport when you're 5 or 6, you develop a love for it and play it for the rest of your life. It does seem different in soccer, which it's like you play it at 5 or 6 because it's whatever reason, it's the sport where you run around and get tired the most, probably. And parents want you to stop yapping. And so they put you in this. And then the second you can say no, you're playing something else. That is the American experience with soccer, in my experience, at least in my beliefs.
That's correct. You're just kicking a ball at a kid who can't really block the entire goal. The goal does not shrink either for the size of the kid. It's the same goal that they use for all the soccer games.
I did not know that. That's a good.
At least where I'm from. So
now, Dave,
I'm sure it's a big deal. Go on. I'm sorry. It's very fascinating.
It is very fascinating. There's a big game today. Belgium set to appeal this ruling. I will say you're terrible if you're appealing. I don't want to play against their best player. That's wrong. I mean, man up, will you? Like, I get that you're a little, and I can see why they'd be frustrated that the president of the United States is like calling the head of FIFA, being like, "Let our players play." I get that that's frustrating. You can't appeal it though. As a man, you can't be like, I don't want to play against the best competition. They should all be suspended so we don't have to play against them. That's a very Belgian way to approach the contest, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't mean to be a bigot, but that sure is Belgium-y.
It is. It is. We love the waffles, but come on.
Yeah, the waffles are delightful. I will say that. They go deep. They're like that thick.
Yeah. It's
pretty good.
It's like
a
the
fine
deep dish.
waffle.
It's like Detroit style waffles.
They are.
They're crispy
They
on
are.
the outside. They're nice and thick. Now I want Detroit style pizza, but that's very good. That's very good. I will say
it's a fine pizza.
it is. They do a good job with it. What's interesting here, because I hear this from a lot of people right now, that it's sort of this antiquated viewpoint that soccer is boring. It's an antiquated viewpoint. Oh, well, nobody scores any goals. It's an antiquated viewpoint that you complain about how they don't even know how many minutes are in the thing, and the clock counts up for some reason instead of down, and all these things, that every other play is a guy falling over and faking an injury, and that 90% of the game is passing the ball backwards toward your own goal. Like, that all might be antiquated. Then I am antiquated. I am fine. There is excitement in the game. And the reason there's excitement in the game, Dave, is because every 4 years they play this. And if you put literally anything in this format where people train their entire lives and then they play one competition that matters every 4 years, there's going to be drama. Curling in the Olympics is dramatic because of everything they put into it, and it happens every 4 years. But other than that, we should step back and recognize the sport still sucks.
I'm with you. I think antiquated means absolutely right. Change the meaning of the word. Everything that you pointed out is why I don't like watching it. But people tell me baseball is boring because hitting a 100 mile an hour fastball with a wooden stick is somehow boring to do that out of the park. But you want to watch a bunch of Guatemalans run around and not kick a ball in a net. That's cool. Seems like a really good time. I'm going to go ahead and watch my Latin Americans. That's what I call them.
Okay.
My hit it out of the park. That's what I'm saying. My Dominicans. I like when my Dominican Republics, whatever you call them, Dominican Republicans. That's probably not right.
I'm sure
Whenever
it is.
that sounds right. Whenever my Dominican Republicans hit it out of the park, I enjoy it.
Yes, yeah. It is bizarre that we spent our 250th birthday weekend in this country not celebrating the national pastime, which is also playing, but instead celebrating soccer. I mean, it is a little disturbing, I have to say.
Yeah, and people will get mad and think that you don't have taste because they just want to argue for them pretending to like a sport that we as Americans have had the freedom to admit isn't fun to watch. For the last, I don't know how old soccer is. I'm sure they've been playing it in, Colombia with people's severed heads who mess with the cartel for at least 250 years.
Yes, that's true. That's confirmed.
Cocaine's nothing new.
No, it's not. And I will say, do you remember major indoor soccer league? I think it was MISL. I don't know if it still exists, but it was around in the 80s and 90s. They used to be on ESPN 14. And they'd throw it on there.
I have one of the free shirts. Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually kind of fun to watch because here's the thing that happened in the games. They scored goals. That was they kick the ball, it would bounce back at 100 miles an hour. They'd kick it again. They would go in. People would go crazy. This is just, it's the field's, 80% of it is the announcers explaining to me how offsides work. I still don't understand. You've tried 25 times. I still don't get it. I know I'm an idiot. I don't care. This is America, and I'm allowed to be an idiot.
I think that you should let them carry the ball. You could even let them wear pads. And then you might have a game. Have them wear pads, let them carry the ball, maybe let them tackle each other. That might be a fun game. Maybe so much that one suffers a head injury that's so severe that they murder their wife and a waiter. That could work too. I think that's a much more exciting game.
Interesting. Well, they could even call it football.
You could call it football. You could still call it you could call it football just like they do in other countries. But we had to change the name to soccer because it's not even football here.
Yes. Look, I am not a fan of the sport. And I don't care if I'm out of step with society. That's not why I come up with my opinions. I don't come up with my opinions to be in step with society. I come up with my opinions because it's what I believe. But
I hate people.
I really do hate that whole, like, you're out of step. You're on the wrong side of history. Am I? That's not why I'm forming my opinions. I'm trying to be right on stuff. I'm trying to consider what actually is going on. I'm not trying to predict what history will think of me in 70 years. But that's a whole nother rant. My point is, the stuff around the World Cup, I actually really legitimately have enjoyed, largely because it's been a bunch of people coming in here from other countries where I'm sure they are fed constant anti-American propaganda. And then they come here and actually experience the place and the people for themselves, and they love it. Let me give you some examples of this, Dave. This is a piece from USA Today. World Cup fans love the USA. Why are Americans so surprised? I think the reason they're surprised is because the media has been feeding them that the entire country is a hellhole for, generations. And then they come here and they recognize, hey, actually the people here are great. And the stuff here they have is great. And we really love this stuff. And there's been like a feeling, honestly, I've felt really warm about it, is that like these people like it. And it's nice to hear people saying good things about the country instead of what we typically get from our own media.
Well, yeah, for at least the last 2 decades, we've been told, I'd say, yeah, at least the last 2 decades, we've been told that everything that our country is wrong, that supremacy is the number one problem. And, a lady on a train who likes to expose herself is, in fact, a hero.
It's true. That's where we are in this country, and that's what the media gets. Let me give you an example of this.
It's also what universities and colleges teach kids as well.
Yeah,
that we're somehow horrible, and our country's pretty new, and we were doing pretty good.
Yeah, and it's an experiment no one's ever tried. Like trying to do all the things that we're trying to do, it's difficult, frankly, and it's been. But like, there's nobody else on earth who has a constitution that's lasted as long as us, unless you want to go to some little. There's a little like city country in Europe somewhere that might have us beat by a couple of years, but there's very, very, very unlikely you'll find a country that your country has been able to maintain what our country has. Germany has had, I don't know if you've heard this, historically some ups and downs.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's been relatively well documented, but we had some German.
I've not heard of this.
Okay, I'll have to. That's probably another show. Let me give you this first, though. This is a German fan coming to America, and I will say, at least the media has jumped on the board with some of these stories, and I'm glad they have, because they're just fun and just make you feel good. But listen to this guy talk. I mean, listen. What is he being fed in his home country? Watch this.
To be honest, I was a bit scared or had a fear to travel to the United States. News about shootings and criminals and that the country is not safe. Bob takes us home. It's great. America is great.
Sebastian met a group of strangers who offered him a ride to his hotel.
What is the best city?
Boston. That's Bob Series and his family, New Englanders who showed a group of Germans that Boston is warmer than some might believe.
Bob, thank you. Love USA.
Enjoy your time in the U.S.
To me, I watched the video by myself maybe 40 times. I had tears in my eyes.
Sebastian was more upset about the prospect of leaving America than Germany being eliminated from the tournament. That kindness he experienced is also what many locals and transplants have lived as well.
I loved living here. I thought the people were always so kind.
People here are very polite. The World Cup just made it easier for folks to see.
I certainly talk to a lot more strangers than I normally do.
And you think it's because of the World Cup?
I do.
This has been happening all around the country, Dave. Like people coming in, this is not an isolated incident. People coming in with this impression that this country is filled with just nonstop mass shootings. And they get there and like, this is freaking great. Have you ever had ranch dressing? It's amazing. Like that's basically where we are.
No, I think he was a soccer fan. I don't know if the woman was. He had her hand over her mouth. She didn't say much, but anyway, he was from a different country and wanted a ride. And I gave him one. Right to the train station.
That's great. You see,
I guess it was the Greyhound bus station, but either way, I got him there, and he seemed very grateful.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he did.
Mainly because I gave him my wallet without a fight. And I'm just glad other people are experiencing this. And it's nice for a Red Sox fan to drink and drive the man home.
So why are your streets so curved? Now we're just swerving back and forth. The street is actually straight.
Yeah. I'm very drunk. I don't know. You got in a car with a New Englander.
Well, now you've ruined both Walmart, diabetes, and the soccer for me, Dave, in this one episode.
I think it's awesome. I just wanted to... I just have to be cynical about it.
Yes.
But I think it's great. I love that people are coming here and going, why is this Fanta so good? And they go, oh, it's red dye number 5. It's poison. But we get to have that here.
And it's freaking awesome. It's
delightful. I don't care.
I've
been eating poison. We've discussed this. My diet is mainly poison, from what I understand. So that's my freedom.
Yep.
I'm aware that there's food out there. I walk past all sorts of turnips, I think they're called, onions. I don't know, whatever these things are. There's a big giant shelves of them.
Yeah.
And you can buy bags of these things.
I've seen that.
I never have.
It almost
Peas,
they have the there's like a rain inside the store that comes down on them for some reason, and they're all it's like a little bit cold but still open. I don't know what that area is or what you do with those things, but wow, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I know the stuff that I eat out of a box doesn't need to be rained on.
Right. Which one sounds healthier to you? All right.
Yeah.
You don't have to wash.
Yeah, I don't have
to. Crave cereal like that. It just comes. You eat it right out of the box. All right, we got to take a break, Dave. We're super late.
I don't have to keep my Fruit Loops alive.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to put rain on Fruit Loops. They're just automatically fruit. All right, we're going to take a break. Back in a second. As you know, Dave, I do another show about prediction markets, and I think the easiest free money that was available this weekend was this. Legendary Joey Chestnut wins 18th Nathan's hot dog eating contest by downing... they wrote this. By downing 66 wieners and buns is how they wrote the headline intentionally.
It's pretty deliberate.
Yeah.
It's my understanding, though, that Lena Dunham ate 86 hot dogs yesterday, but was not competing.
It was just a Sunday for her.
Yeah, just a Sunday. Somebody just started counting, but it was just... I guess it was 23 less than she had on the 4th of July.
Okay. Wow. So she's cutting back. It's nice to see her slim down a little bit.
Now would be a really good part to play the scene from The Sandlot where the fat kid runs out of the house and starts grabbing all the hot dogs.
Yes, it would.
And just say, that's Lena Dunham.
You just do that yourself. Go on YouTube, search for that scene, and then just say, that's Lena Dunham. To yourself as you watch it. I'm amazed. I mean, Joey Chestnut, if you consider competitive eating a sport, he's probably the greatest athlete of all time. He just continues to easily dominate these fields every single year. The other part of me finds this completely revolting to the point that I cannot watch highlights of it. The idea of bread combined with water is among the most disgusting things I can imagine, Dave.
No, it's disturbing. I never really watch it. I'll watch it for maybe a couple seconds until I'm bothered. But the idea of slurping down the whole buns and dogs and not doing it for drug money just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, so we don't need to go into your history in Detroit.
He's got a talent.
Okay,
he's got a talent.
He certainly does. Back in a second. Make sure to join us on BlazeTV, blazetv.com/Stu and Dave. Use the code Stu and Dave and save yourself $20. Dave, you're going to be around the country as well. DaveLandau.com is the place to go to get tickets. A couple of cities you want to highlight here before we go?
This weekend, you can come out to Huntsville, Alabama. Next weekend, Springfield, Missouri. What about you?
Check that out. And, of course, we got a predictable Constitution update we're going to be doing all this week. Kind of the rules of the road for trading if you ever want to trade prediction markets. Lots of fun stuff. Join us at predictableshow.com. Dave, we'll see you soon.